Good evening. All right. Good evening. Good evening. So, we're going to go ahead and get started with tonight's class because I don't want to hold anyone up, and people will be coming in slowly, so we'll just let them watch the replay. So, welcome to tonight's tropical cake class. I am Jeremy, or everybody know me as Sippy Cake King. I'm ready to dive into this cake because it definitely has become one of my new favorite designs. I actually love the effect that you get with edible images. So we'll get into it. If you looked at the supply list, you'll see that we had a very minimal supply list because you really didn't need nothing more than your piping bag 104 tip, which is basically your rose tip. You can create your buttercream roses with this same tip as well. If you're using real cake or styrofoam, you can pretty much get the effect on there. So I'm going to be using the styrofoam blocks that we have. So the first thing I'm going to do is take you through how we create the edible image sheets, okay? All right. So I'm going to pull this around. All right, so what I'll do is put this around. All right, so I create my sheets for the cake on Word. So basically what I do is I go and just find images that I would want to use for my for the cake design, and I just go and reformat the size on there. So you can use any image, any floral look. I love this. I didn't even see this. So I'll use one of these images. What I do is I copy the image and I go back over to Word and go into Word, and I'll just take this one off. I paste my image onto Word. And if you are familiar with Word, it's just basic picture stuff. And what I normally do is, you don't want to go in and do this because as you can see, it distorts the image. So I try not to format the images that way where it makes the image look distorted. So what I do is I will end up cropping the image, and I'll use the one I have on here as an example, because the image, you want it to be a little bit less of a height than your actual cake. So if you were using 4-inch tiers for your cake, which is two cake layers, a 2-inch, put it together to make 4, you will want to crop it to be that size. So what I do is I crop my image some, because I still want to get that same that part of the image in there, and that's what you want to get, is making sure that you got the part of the image that you want. Don't crop out the good part. So I do that right there. So what I'm just going to use the one I got down here to kind of compare it to for size purposes. So I will crop it a little bit more. And that puts it right at about 3.95. And we want to make our height at 3.93. And it's not a standard thing, but it's just what I've seen for the size of the cake that I need. And then once you get it sized, you can drag it over to so you have enough to cover around your cake. So normally it takes about maybe two sheets total to make one, to wrap around one cake. So what I end up doing is when I print them out, I get them on my sheets and I cut them out. So it's a whole page, and I'll actually have, a whole full page. So it's 2 sheets. So really, really simple to create your edible images. So if you are familiar with edible images, then you'll know that you pretty much can do the same thing in Word that you do that you would do like on your edible image printer software, which is very, very simple. So I have these sheets, and of course you can use any pattern, and it just really makes it easier for you to add floral or any print to your cake design. Really, really simple. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my cake that we're going to be using for the bottom part. All right. So for the bottom, I have a 10-inch cake right now, or a 10-inch styrofoam. And what you'll want to do is to go ahead and ice at least your top part of your cake, so that because when you do the sides, it won't show up. You won't have to go back and try to ice the whole top of it again, because you already have it done, so you won't mess up your design. Okay? I'm gonna pull this cake out because I was baking a cake. I had some batter left over and I wanted to use it up. So I said, let me go ahead and bake the cake off, and I'll just have it, take it to somebody. I want to use up the batter. All right, so to get started, what we'll do is, I have my bag and I have my 104 tip again, which is a rose tip. So you'll want your buttercream to kind of be not so stiff, but enough. I'll say add in maybe a third of a cup of powdered sugar to your buttercream to kind of stiffen it up just a little bit, but you don't want it too hard to where you can't pipe it out. So swing this around, and this is what you will have. All right. So you're gonna take your tip, and you want it to be this side right here. The big side should be up, okay? So we got that. So what you're gonna do is you'll take your tip and you'll make zigzags up your cake, okay? So I'm gonna spin it around. All right. All right. So the next one, I go like that. All right. So you kind of just making waves with it. And it's just another simple buttercream technique that you can use, tips that you already have for, so you're not really going out buying anything new, okay? Because we all have rose tips at the house already. Many times we buy them or they come in a kit already, and a lot of people don't even know how to use the tip. So just if you can't make a rose, at least you can now use it for something else. All right. So this is a really, really easy design. I think that the most effort that you're going to put in is actually preparing your tier to put the edible image on it. I think the edible image is probably will take the most effort out of anything that you do on here, because it's a very, very simple design. It makes a large, it just makes a nice statement. And the base of it is just beautiful, because it kind of reminds you of, they have so many different new table finishings or tablecloth finishings now. And it just kind of puts you in the mind of one of the tablecloth bases that have the waves in it. Okay. As you can see. All right. So we following along right now. Everybody following along. I'll make sure we don't go too far and get nobody confused. All right. We got a yes, so all I need is one. So I know that we all right. We all on the same page. All right. So what we'll do is we'll continue on then. All right. All right. So again, I'll take the tip, take the large part of the tip, and I'm going to put it directly to it, and I'm just making a wave pattern. And as you can see, you kind of don't have to be all meticulous with it. You're just making simple waves, and when you get to the top of the cake, you're going to stop. You want to kind of get them close together so that the design will line up. As you can see. All right. And it really, you can kind of play with your waves. If you want to kind of make some looser, you can do that. All right. I think I had something in my tip. Maybe a hard part. All right. A hard part of that powdered sugar. That's why it's always good to sift your powdered sugar. Oh, that might have not been powdered sugar there. Might have been some icing I had stuck off in here. Okay. All right. So we'll keep going. All right. And I'm gonna clean my tip off, because I don't want it to keep on dragging along. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this part that I just had that was missing. Okay. And just the good thing about working on styrofoam. If you missed it, you just scrape it off and keep going. All right. So we'll go back into it. Oh yeah, much better now. So you can go right back into the design and continue on. And it was probably just some powdered sugar that didn't go already, it didn't go all the way down in there. And you can do this with any size of, tip as well for that 104. There is one that's another size up from this one that's a larger one if you want it to be a little bit larger. So, but because we're doing it on styrofoam right now, I'm going to show you both designs because I also posted another one as well, which is the cake that has the larger tiers to it. So I'm going to show you both sides. Now, I didn't mention this tip on the initial class posting, but I wanted to show you guys how to use it because many of you have taken the ruffle class, the buttercream ruffle class. Some of you have taken the fondant ruffle class and all of those classes like that. So, and if not, you just got a bonus part to the class, okay? Is everybody okay with that? I'm assuming everybody is. I didn't hear nobody say no. All right. So because nobody said no, that I heard, I'm gonna show y'all some bonus content, okay? All right. All right. So for this tip here, which is my favorite, we're gonna use tip 402. All right, you can order this tip off Amazon. You can order it just different places. But I did post like two different ones, two different cakes. So, all right, so this tip here is tip 402. All right, so all you're doing is pretty much making indentations of ruffles, okay? So you just squeezing and pulling, okay? Well, you just got bonus for you paid for it. Now you got two more classes to add to it. So you squeeze and pull. Squeeze and pull. And you can see I'm not moving fast, it's just very, very simple. You squeeze and pull. All right. So it comes out. All right. We all right? How many people already have this tip? Anybody already got this tip? Squeeze and pulling. My favorite tip. Y'all know I talk about this tip all the time. So what I'm going to assume is that I added the powdered sugar to it. And I didn't mix all of it in because every one of them I get, I had to end up stopping to pull it out. All right. Yeah, this is 402. This is tip 402 that I'm using. And there's also a tip 403. Welcome all the people that came in. You can buy this tip off of Amazon though. I'm gonna finish it off with finish that design off. It's another color. So yeah, you can get this tip off of Amazon, and also it's made by White Flower Cake Shop. That's who actually originally made the tip. So you can also go to their website and actually order it from there too. All right. No, the tip that we use for this ruffle is Wilton. This other tip is made by another company. I don't know. I think it's a private company though. But all you gotta do is go to Amazon and search tip 402 or 403. All right. So we're back in business now. All right. So back to this. All we're gonna do again is you squeezing and pulling, and you just going pulling out. All right. So squeeze, and what I do is I turn my hand at different angles. I'm not moving the cake or anything. I'm just turning my hand at different angles. And it just spaces them out in different angles. All right. So now you got two different ways that you can do the base of your cake, okay? All right, got two new ways. They're all for a base on if you want to do this style cake. You got the tip 104. It's a Wilton tip. And then you got your ruffle tip, which is tip 403, that you can order from Amazon as well. Okay? So you got two ways to make your bottom great. Yeah, I don't use the smallest one, the smallest tip, because it's kind of hard to do. Well, and I ain't gonna say it's hard to do. It's just a lot of piping to do when you're doing it on a cake, but it's perfect for cupcakes. It's a small, because it's three of them in the set. All right. Okay. All right. So we got. And then you can always go back in when you got a section that you want to kind of add to. You can go back in and fill in your gaps with it. Okay. All right. So now we got a smaller area right here, but we got one more section. Okay. We still got one more section. So in this section, I will show you how to do yet another effect, okay? In this little small section here. So you got three ways that you can do the base on this cake, all right? So for this one, all you do is take your 1 millimeter tip, which is your rosette tip. You'll create a rosette. I always start with a small one. and I'll go up some, and I'll create a little bit one that's larger. I'll go up, and I'll create another one there. And then I'll go there and create one. And I'll go right in here and create one large one. Okay. So now you'll have 3 different bases that you can do. So we got the ruffle base. We got our ruffle with the rose tip. Okay, got that? All right. So, any questions so far about the different techniques that you can do? 3 different tips, 3 different bases, all give you a very unique effect. So you got your ruffle base here with your tip 104 by Wilson. That's this one. We'll go around and you have your feather base, which is tip 403 that you can order off Amazon. I'm sorry, 402. You can order off Amazon. It has 402 and 403. And then your basic tip that you all should have, your 1mm tip, which is your cupcake tip. All right. So that pretty much covers all of your decorative tips that you could use. All right. Okay. So all those. So for the next part, for your edible image tier, okay? So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna say this was our cake. Our cake was already iced and ready to be stacked onto our next tier, okay? So what we'll do, I'm gonna go ahead and press this down on here. So the way I attach my edible image sheets is I use piping gel, okay? So if this cake was already iced in buttercream, you already got it iced and ready to go, you'll use your, it'll stick directly to your buttercream, which this would have been buttercream on this tier. So I have my piping gel now. So I'll use my piping gel to actually pipe, just to brush on some piping gel onto the tier. All right. So all I do is cover my tier with piping gel. And you guys, I'm sure you guys are familiar with piping gel. So I just brush it all onto the same layer. I know the people coming in are saying, why do we have 3 different things on this cake? Everybody that's already here, no, we just learned 3 different techniques on one cake. All right. So these are simple techniques that you can actually, you know, add into any design. One thing I always say is buttercream techniques will never get old. No matter what trends come around, you're going to still have people that want just a simple, classic, elegant look. And there's nothing wrong with, with those, type of customers, because those are the cakes that that you've done a million times, but you can perfect them the 1,000,001 times. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how many times you've done them. So in the beginning, I showed you how to go ahead and get your labels, your edible images, printed out and how to create them. So I'm going to get my fondant spatula and I'm going to show you how to apply them. All right. So what you do is you take your edible image sheet. Now what I have printed my edible image on is rice paper sheets. Now you can order rice paper from Amazon. It's like 100 of them in a pack for like less than $20. All right. So what you'll do is take your sheet and you're going to apply it directly to your cake. Now we're using our piping gel on here because if it was buttercream, you know, you'll still have your icing already on there and you pretty much just applying the piping gel to it. So you make sure you want to smooth out your edges on the side first so that it can actually adhere to your cake. Make sure you clean off your fondant smoother. Next thing you want to do is go over your image, okay? Always clean off your spatula, your smoother, because you never know if you've got a little bit of buttercream on there or a little bit of piping gel that might ruin your image if you go across the whole cake with it, okay? All right, so now I've got that on there and it's really just that simple. And I usually just take a dry brush and I just go over it to kind of press the image into my cake, okay? All right. And it's really just that simple. Rice sheets are pretty much, I don't want to say it's the same thing because it's a different product as sugar sheets, but rice paper sheets have no flavor. Sugar sheets have a little bit of taste to it. These rice sheets don't have any flavor to them, which is actually good for me. I've always enjoyed working with these sheets because rice sheets absorb the flavor of the cake. So whatever flavor the cake is, it pretty much absorbs it in there. Now you want to kind of line up. You're never going to get an exact match on here when you're doing this, when you're putting the sheets together, but you want to get it as close as you can to making sure that it's a part of the design to continue on, okay? And I may have a little bit of a gap because I'm working over my hand so that you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. But you want to make sure that you get out all of the air bubbles. One of the major differences between rice sheets and your sugar sheets is the price. These sheets right here are going to be much cheaper than buying sugar sheets. I can guarantee you that. And they do the same thing. They do the exact same. They serve the same purpose. And these actually, to me, they print better. When you actually print on these, they print a lot better. The color seems to be more vivid on these sheets like this. Okay. All right. So you got that. And then I'll just add it to my back one. And what I do is when I get to a point where they overlap each other, I use my X-Acto blade to cut the excess off. So I'll see where the line is at all. Okay? And I kind of eye it. And you can use a ruler. But since I'm working over my head, y'all, I'm trying to show you how. Yeah, I've had bad experiences with sugar sheets. The worst thing I hate about the sugar sheets is that you have to put them in, either you have to put them in the freezer for them to, adhere sometimes, so you can pull it off of there, especially when you're doing one that goes on a cake that you're doing a picture or something on. You got to kind of freeze it and then, let it peel it off, the back part off of there. And I hate that damn back part that be on there. And these are called rice sheets. You can order them off of Amazon. It's like rice wafer sheets, okay? That's basically what they are. So yes, these colors are very, very vibrant. And that's because this image is very vibrant. This image that I chose, you want to use the image when you're trying to find your edible images. and you want to find some pictures that are really, really vivid, you always want to use the ones that have the most resolution to them, the highest resolution, so that you have the best optimum quality image, okay? Yes, they really do. And you messed up a whole sheet then, so that's why I don't really care for them. I've never really cared for those sheets like that. All right. So, to kind of finish off your part around here, around the top, you can pipe a border here, around here, or you can use your tip and finish off that top part with the same pattern that you got here. You just take it and go sideways with it. All right. So I will show you guys what I'm talking about. So y'all don't be lost. For when we get to that part there. Okay. All right. So again, you'll put your tip to your bed. We're gonna pray that this icing is gonna cooperate this time. Now, this is what I love about edible images. You can pretty much create any beautiful image on a cake. Like, you can, like, if you are, like, I've always wanted to learn how to paint on cakes, but I've never taken the time out to do it. So edible images actually enable you to be able to find a beautiful image, and it can look hand painted, because you can get a pastel image and actually apply it to it, and it look like you actually painted it on the cake. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the same method that I used on the bottom. I got something in my throat. Okay. I'm gonna use that around the top. Feel like I got choked. All right. So when I get to the inside, I'm really just angling my tip to create that inside border. Okay. All right. So we good right there. We just gonna focus on this part since the part where what we was doing, because the rest of it was just showing you different techniques on there. All right. So we'll focus on that area. All right. So good. All right. So what we'll do now, we just gonna sit this to the side, because now we need our other one, our other cake. All right. This one in the freeze, as if we were working with a real cake. Put our cake in the freeze and let it chill. All right. So I have gotten our next tier started. All right. So right now, all I have is my 6-inch tier. And I've already used the upside down method, which everybody is familiar with by now, to do because I'm going to use my cone now. Okay. All right. So if you just say this was the tier we was going to use, this tier right here for if we weren't going to just apply image to the buttercream, you would just take your image and put your piping gel on there, and you apply it directly to it. Like that simple. Same, you know what I'm saying? When I was saying you could use your the image on your buttercream tier, that's the same thing right there. That's what it'll look like. So you gotta make sure that you have a white background, because if you got an image that got a light color or something, you don't want to put it on nothing like that. All right. So take your now icing, and of course we're using our upside down method. All right. So I'm going to apply my icing to here. And I really want y'all to notice that we've taken something that it looks really, really elegant, and like it took a lot of time, and it really doesn't take that much time. That's the whole purpose that people use edible images anyway, is to get out of trying to find a design for something. Like, think about it, when we do football cakes or something, we don't want to try to design nothing, so we use the edible image of the team. You know, it's just the easy way out of doing stuff, and edible images have always been that way. They've always just been the easy way out. All right, so I'm using my buttercream. I use my bench scraper now to just scrape off my excess icing. And this is pretty much the upside down method in a nutshell. We always work before the bottom, so I like to clean off all the excess icing. Alright, so once you get your layer on there, now you go back and you're going to take your comb. Alright, so I'm using the Ester comb, which is going to be my pleated comb, okay? And I already had the links on there. So you're going to take your comb and you're going to put it straight to the cake and just drag that around to create the icing effect of the cone. Okay? And I usually go around a couple of times just to make sure that the design is very intimate in there so you can actually see it. Alright, so as you can see on the bottom, I didn't do nothing but scrape all my icing off that I had on there anyway. So, alright. So I go back and add some more icing to it. Because I've done this on several cakes where I caught myself dragging it around trying to make it perfect. And I end up messing up the design. Well, thank you. And get out of my refrigerator. I'm just not seeing it. This is a very easy. The combs are so simple to use. All right. So again, I'm gonna take my comb and go around my cake. And the pleated comb just makes an overlapping line, which is what I love because it looks so classic when you're doing like a wedding cake or something in all white. It's just it's really nice, really nice. Yeah, I love these combs. I think they're so easy to use. I think that any level cake artist can pretty much vouch and say that these are something that you can use to really make a really bold statement on your cake. Really simple. All right. So it pretty much looks like that once you're done with it, if you can see it. And you can clean it up and make it all nice and neat. All right, so that's how you utilize that cone. So what I want to do is I'm gonna go a little bit further because we have that pattern is really cool on there. So I wanted to show you exactly how it would look if you just kept your sheet on there. All right, so Actually, I'll show y'all the other comb because she sent another one out. They always got different ones. Oh, I forgot. I took it to work. I accidentally put it in a bag with me and took it to work. All right. The one with the stripes is really, really cool. And on the other cake, I started out using the one with the stripes. I like all of them, to be honest. Let me show. I got there's another one that will go with this design too. Let me show you guys that one. Y'all know I got like all of them. Either way, I'm just, you can tell I'm a fan of the cones. All right, so it's simple. Yes, that's the one that she sent. I thought I took it to work, but I got it right here. The one that takes out the middle and you can add like the flowers or whatever design you want to put in the middle of the tier. I have that one too, so I'll show y'all that one. That's the one I just found. I thought it was in my bag at work. Because she sent it to me, I accidentally put it in my work bag. Alright, so for that one, the one you take the middle out for, you still have to scrape off, you know, your icing. And y'all gonna be the first, this gonna be the first time I've actually used it. Alright. So you smooth off that part. All right, and it has two sides to it. All right, so I'm gonna assume. Well, I think it's for taller cakes, so it definitely. I don't think it's gonna work on mine because you gotta have a tall enough cake for it. So yeah, I think your cake gotta be tall. Yeah, looks that way. Well, I can't show y'all that one. I'll have to use that one on the cake that I just baked that I was gonna go live and do tomorrow. All right, so I'll go to the other one. Yeah, I think it's for a double barrel. So this is one of the other combs. Like I said, it's so many of them. Sometimes I forget which ones I actually have. They all just make all these different designs, but you have got what I do know is you gotta have this one right here is this cake here is a 4-inch cake. The best way to use these cones though is you gotta have a solid base coat of icing. So it's always good unless you just having unless you're doing one of the easier cones, but you gotta have a nice base coat that's already been you know, pretty much crumb coated. I'm just gonna go through and show y'all the different ones because I think you see the videos of how they work, but nobody don't really just slow down and show you how they work. And I'm one of those people you gotta show me. Like I gotta actually see you doing it. So we also have let's see which one we would go better with. And this is the shark fin one. It's called a fin cone. I think that's what it's called. But it pretty much just makes this almost like a feathery look. It kind of digs into it. It digs into the cake, basically. And it does like an overlap where you have, from the upside down, it looks like you got holes in it. Like you can see straight down the cake. So when you flip it, it looks like that. I used this cone when I was doing like a pineapple Because it pretty much you can do all this. It looks just like a pineapple when you flip it over. So here we go to the next one. Y'all just got to be the lucky bunch where we work on different things. Y'all don't mind, do you? Y'all don't mind a little product reviews. We can see what worked for us and which ones we want and which ones we don't want to buy. Might not like all of them till you actually see them. All right. All right, so I'm gonna use my bench scraper now to add this other image to it. So back to my upside down method. Oh, I missed out too. Y'all know I had got out of teaching these online classes and I was kind of limited to who I wanted to put in these. I didn't want to put a lot of people in the class either. Sometimes it gets overwhelming. You need to just have enough people just so everybody can actually get it. So nobody's overcrowded and bombarding people with questions and they miss the actual class. So you guys have been great tonight. All right. Alrighty. All of my new people that just joining the live classes or just getting on for the first time to see these classes like this. Well, all right. So I'm gonna find one that's simple so we can move on. All right. Yeah, me too, Piper. Like that's kind of like where the direction I wanted to go. I think sometimes you can actually just have too many. And I miss the live classes because the live classes I love the interaction that you have in the live classes where you can ask questions and All right, so we're gonna go with this one. We'll use this side, all right? Which is actually one of my favorite ones because this actually looks like one of the one you would use on your wedding cake. It looks good with some flowers on it. So I'm gonna let that sit for a second. All right. So, any questions so far? Because I'm gonna take out the other one that we just worked on. All right. So we take out. This is what we worked on so far. I'm gonna get all this ice in it. So, any questions you have? The last one I used, I will have to ask Miss Esther about it. Oh, it's called the scallop cone. This is the scallop one. The last one that I use is what we're going to see on here is the scallop cone. And it looks like that. And again, I have all of them. So every last one of the cones. And Miss Esther is awesome. Like she always keeps me updated on when she's coming out with something. All right, any questions? We're gonna all right, any questions? So we're gonna go on to the next part and put it all together in 1 second. How do you use the 2 different color buttercreams with these cones? That's gonna be. Oh, you just striping your bag then. making, you just use a bag, two different color of icings, and you'll just don't put the tip on there. So you'll just make a line of buttercream all the way around, all the way around. So if this was your tip, that'd be buttercream, be white, pink, all the way up. And then you use your bench scraper and smooth everything off with your bench scraper. And then go back and use your comb, okay? All right? Because your comb will blend the colors together. It's really, really simple. All right? So, here's our top tier. All right? All right. So drop it there. Move it over a little bit. And that's our front there. Okay. Alright, straighten this up so y'all can see better. Alright, so this is where we are. We've gotten out, put it together. We use the scallop comb on top now. And we showed how to use different combs. Alright. And that is the top one is called a scallop. That's the scallop comb, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me, but I think that's what that was called. Like I said, she got so many of them, and I got all of them, so I'll be trying to remember the names. So if somebody asks me, at least I can be truthful and know exactly what it is, because don't make me laugh. All right. All right. So on the top here, I'm gonna keep in keeping with the buttercream effect. I'm going to pipe a buttercream border around the top tier. All right, and you could do different things. You could use your different molds and all. I mean, it's so many things that you can do with this cake that it's like not even funny. Like you can pretty much, the possibilities are endless with the design choices that you have. Okay, so don't feel like you have to be limited to just doing what the picture has. And this is why I always say you take these classes so you can learn the techniques. Of how it's done. And if you haven't taken now, which I watched this morning, which is why I was late for work, I watched Miss Esther's marble cake class, which was amazing on how to do marble buttercream, and I cannot wait to do it this weekend. So Sunday's gonna be my project day, and I'm gonna be working on her new design, which is marble buttercream, and it's so simple. And it makes such a huge statement. All right. I like simple stuff that I ain't got to do a lot of work on. That still look like I took 20 hours to do it. All right. So I'm just going to pipe a little border on here. All the way around. Even though we ain't got nothing in the back but two different designs, because we've been putting all these designs together. So this was more so trying to fill in different techniques so that you can see that you don't have to do the same boring. It doesn't have to look the same as everybody else's, and I think that's important to show different techniques so that you can actually see what you can do with more than one type of thing on there. And all you do on the next part is just putting in your buttercream. I mean, you can use your buttercream flowers, or you can use your gum paste flowers, however you want it, whatever you want to call it. You can use those on your cake. So we're going to use our gum paste flour on the cake. All right. And I'm going to apply it to my cake. see where I want to put it at. I want to put it up here. All right. And you know you can use so many different tropical flowers on this design, okay? And it just gives it a more of a tropical vibe, or you know, different. You can use different plants, or I mean, pretty much any flowers that are tropical will go with the theme. You know what I'm saying? So it's really a really easy design, and you could I'm sorry, add to it and make it more tropical. Okay. So as you can see, very simple design, and we've shown how to do different pieces on there if you wanted a different base to it. So as you can see there, we got rosettes there, we got the ruffles that you, if you wanted to use the ruffles, don't look at the bottom, look at the top part, because we got different colors. All right. And this is a Cal Java flower. So if you're asking where I got it, this is a Cal Java flower. And I haven't ordered any of the new Cal Java flowers because I'll be going to SoFlo, and the flowers are always cheap as hell at SoFlo. So I'll just wait and get them there. All right. So I'm gonna stock up when I go to SoFlo and have a whole bunch of flowers. I'm gonna have a whole other cabinet outside with number of flowers in it. So pretty simple. Like I said, you can do so many different things with this, but I wanted to teach you the techniques first so that you can see the different variations that you can do with it, okay? Okay? And then I'll be working on this other design, because see, I want to do different things with edible images. So the edible images are actually what I'm going to be bringing on tour this summer for New York and Atlanta. We're going to be working with edible images in both of those classes, and I'm excited about it because I have some exciting things planned for the summer. All right. So, do we have any questions? Any questions? And you know, I always have, there's always a part on here where you can ask questions as well. I always leave one out. All right. We all okay? I don't know. And I've been trying to like add any, Word is what I use for the sheets. So if you look in the beginning of the video, you'll see I started out by actually showing, how to do it. Okay? All right. Got that part down? If anybody got any questions? We all okay? All right. So I will post in the group all of the tips that we use tonight. And I'll post, well, we already have the link to Miss Esther's class. I mean, her combs and everything, all right? And no problem. I mean, you know, of course, every time I do a class, I got to throw in some bonus stuff in there so you guys can actually see that you can do different things with the same, the same elements, You don't have to have, you're going to have to do just one type of cake. Just because you teach the class on one thing, it's always good to have a variation of things that you can learn as well. All right. I use these colors I use with Wilton's. I mean, I pretty much like all the colors. I don't have no favorite. You're welcome. You're welcome, sis. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I'll post in the comments, where you guys have any additional questions that you want to ask or any products that you want to know more about. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So please, let me know if you have, what you come up with, okay? Yes, Atlanta does have openings. I'm about to shut it down, like probably by the weekend. I'm gonna end up going ahead and shut it down because it's almost. I think that class is almost full. I think it's already like almost 25 people in there. I think. Yes, the code for the combs is Cake King, so it's all capitalized on there. Pretty much can use use it on any of the combs. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to let y'all go for the night. And if you have any questions, make sure you post it in below. But again, we've got the base of what the class was all about. And then we went over the ruffle technique. And then we also went over the rosette. I was reading your question. Well, this class there, it's going to be on here, and I'll probably end up adding it to the website as well. If you guys have seen the website, I'll actually be adding more of the classes that we were on Facebook. I'll be putting those on the website as well. Okay? All right. Y'all have a good night.